to the M-Class Podcast Halloween special.
Lightning, thunder, lightning, sound effects, Foley. Yeah.
Three. That's the scariest monster.
3.
We are the internet's foremost Star Trek podcast where they talk about butts on it. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Butts Jones. Josh Butts Jones, that is.
Josh Butserson.
Man, I do love butts. My God.
If you haven't listened to M-Class before, every 2 weeks we sit down with a piece of Star Trek media, pick it apart, decide if it's great or J.J. Abrams could have made that shit, and generally show our asses and have a great time.
We show our asses? How did you know that? I mean, what?
It's a visual medium, podcasting, so everybody can tell.
Sometimes I do this podcast literally in my underwear.
I'm wearing pajamas right now, so...
I have pants on right now. I don't know why.
Yeah, why the hell?
I don't know.
What? Anyway,
sometimes I think they can, like, hear my dick if my, like, pants are on.
It's always slapping around by itself, so...
What are you gonna do?
This week's episode of M-Class Podcast is all about the Next Generation episode 5 of Season 6, Schisms.
Oh, man, this episode's great.
It is a really good episode, and you know that because the teleplay is by noted sex pervert Brannon Braga.
Now, I think it's funny on the Memory Alpha, there's the shot of Riker going through the vagina, the portal vagina.
The space portal vagina, yeah.
Yeah, and it's right above teleplay by Brannon Braga. That guy wants to be inside of giant vaginas.
That's a good catch, Josh.
Being high helps you see this stuff.
Yeah, Josh is high on medication, everybody. Perfectly legal medication.
I took the quill, baby.
So he's going to get real droopy as the show goes on.
Time will help you get your Z's.
So this episode is directed by Robert Weimer, whose name is so close to being hilarious, but isn't.
It looks like Wiener. If the M was a cursive N, it would be Wiener.
Yeah, if only, right?
Because cursive M's have 3 humps for some reason?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We went with the 1 hump for the N and the 2 humps for the M. Forever. Yeah. Why did you fucking change it, cursive writing?
Cursive was like, not enough humps. Throw more humps in there. Because they like that Fergie song.
Fuck, I was going to make the same joke. Anyway.
That's because I read your brain because we're the same
shit. Robert Weimer wrote like 6 or 7 episodes of TNG along with the DS9 episode Profit and Loss. He directed them. And
yeah.
Most notably directed Masks, my favorite episode.
I was sipping tea and I almost spit my tea out. Because that's the episode I wanted to watch for Halloween, but somebody was like, no, it's bad.
It's too scary, Josh. I can't handle it.
Yeah, the truth comes out. It's too scary.
This episode was actually written by a writing duo of Jean Louise Matthias and Ron Wilkerson, who wrote 6 episodes of Star Trek together.
6 of them total?
Yeah. TNG Imaginary Friend, Schisms, Lower Decks, and Lessons, and the Voyager episodes Fair Trade and Learning Curve.
Oh, I think we remember those.
My favorite Voyager episodes. And
Jean Louise Matthias. That's how I read it.
Also, apparently, Ronald Wilkerson said, fuck you, Gene, and wrote an episode of Voyager by himself called Ashes to Ashes.
Maybe she was, like, called in sick that day. It was like, I can't write any more of these shitty Voyager episodes.
Yeah, she stopped writing after Voyager, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Probably broke her will as a writer, as a creative human.
She has no other writing credits to her name, which is very mysterious, Brannon Braga.
You think that Brannon Braga is Jean Louise Matthias?
I think Brannon Braga murdered Jean Louise Matthias. This is now a conspiracy theory Star Trek podcast.
Play the spooky music.
I was gonna go for X-Files. I'm glad you went for.
Well, you've been watching X-Files, right? So you're gonna,
The last episode I saw that I remember anything from had very, very racist voodoo magic in it.
Oh, yeah.
And the one before that I remember had a fish man that lived in a toilet, and he would bite your pee-pee if you went pee in it.
the spookiest X-File.
That was the scariest shit I ever did see.
The pee-pee biter.
Oh, Ronald Wilkerson also wrote a lot of episodes of Stargate SG-1. So there you have it.
Have you ever watched that show? I never did.
Yeah,
so.
I watched a lot of Stargate SG-1.
I only watched the movie.
Honestly, like, I think the show's better than the movie.
Really?
The movie's good. I like the movie a lot, but I think I got more into the show because I watched it growing up.
Yeah, it was on a lot. I think the movie is Roland Emmerich's toned down, probably one of his better movies because it's not so Roland Emmerich-y.
That's true. There is a certain Roland Emmerich-ness that comes with his movies that's pretty low-key in that one.
They got real Emmerich-y toward the end. Like, 2012 is like his Emmerich opus.
Oh my god, that movie fucking sucks!
Yeah, that movie's really, really terrible. What is it? Did he do 10,000 BC? Did he do that one?
I don't know. I didn't see that one. I
like
steer clear of that shit.
Let's look it up.
Robert Weimer, who directed this episode, directed all these movies that you're definitely a big fan of, and you know, like My 17th Summer,
okay,
Somewhere Tomorrow,
all right,
Anna to the Infinite Power,
whoa,
and Night Train to Kathmandu.
Ah, those are movies that I am well aware of and love.
Oscar-winning films by Robert Weimer. He also directed a lot of episodes of the television series The Adventures of Superboy.
How many years was that on? Like one?
I think that was on for like 4 or 5 years. TV shows didn't go away back then.
Yeah,
they just stayed on TV.
Unless they were on Fox, in which case they got canceled immediately.
Some things have never changed, really.
Ensign Rager in this episode, the pilot of the Enterprise in this episode, she was in a show called Space Above and Beyond on Fox, and it was like a Wing Commander ripoff, but it was cool. Like, it was a really cool show.
How long did that last?
1 season. It was great, and then they canceled it. It was an awesome show.
That's what happens. If it's good, they don't keep it.
Yeah, it was like Battlestar Galactica, but like Wing Commander. Like, they were fighter pilots, and they would go out and like fight aliens and stuff. It was awesome.
This episode has at the beginning a poetry slam that Data is hosting, poetry. And
beep, bop, boop, beep.
Number one, there's a really great fucking remix by Dan Bull that puts the next episode by Dr. Dre music underneath it. Yeah. Which is fucking amazing. But
that's a great.
All I can think of when I was watching that scene this time is Captain Picard on a date with that ensign that's in every episode?
I was gonna ask you that. I've thought that ever since I saw this episode. I was always like, Captain Picard is on a date with this androgynous hottie.
Like, she's in every episode. She's an ensign. She's like, she sits across from Data almost every episode.
She's a yellow. She's engineering or something, or security or something. And like, she looks like Zool from fucking Ghostbusters.
Yeah, hot as fuck.
She's hot as shit.
And Picard is apparently on a date with her?
That's what I always thought, too. I'm glad that you brought it up, because, like, I always think that every time I watch this. I'm like, yo, he's on a date with that girl. He's old as hell. He could be your grandfather.
You know, honestly, Patrick Stewart could be the same age as her in that scene. He's looked like that since he was 12.
I don't know. She looks like she's, like, maybe 21. And
that's true.
She's young looking, man.
He's on a very bad date, so it's not going to turn out well for him.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's because the actor who plays her, like, looks at him. Like, she probably was just supposed to sit there, right? But, like, she was like, I'm just going to look over at you. Like, and it kind of looks like that she's looking at him to get, like she's, like, talking to him. Like, well, can you believe this shit?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, everybody is sitting next to their friend, is the thing. Like, Jordan's sitting next to Worf, and Riker's sitting next to Troy.
Yeah.
And just randomly, the ensign is sitting next to Picard, and she's dressed up. She's wearing like civilian dress clothes.
She's like on a date, dressed up, and like you could argue that like Riker and Troy are on a date. Maybe they're not on a romantic date, but a friendly date or something. Sure, they have a past, you know.
Sure. She's looking weird in this episode as well, right? Like it's between the hairstyles. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. The next episode, by Dr. Dre. No, the next episode is the Q episode with Amanda, the Q-Manda.
Oh, yeah.
And Troy's hair is, like, all over the place on that one. Like, I'm like, oh, God.
They don't know what the fuck to do with her hair at this point. It's like...
It's not long and it's not short, so they're like, I don't know. Like, what do we do?
My wife Crystal's hair is like curly, and her entire life, nobody in her family, like her mom especially, had no idea what to do with it because they all have straight hair for the most part.
And curly hair is a curse.
Yeah, that's like something you just have to learn to deal with on your own, I guess.
Yeah, I let mine grow in high school when I had hair, and it turned into like a dreadlock, like one big dreadlock. It was ridiculous.
Straight out the gate, this episode is great.
Yeah.
It was one of 2 episodes that we were going to choose for the Halloween episode. Josh cast the deciding vote, and I'm glad he did. I think Schisms is perfect for our
Was
Halloween
the other
special.
one Masks?
Yeah, Josh, you voted against it. That's a shame.
Oh, weird. It doesn't sound... No, what was the other one going to be? I don't remember.
Oh, shit. It was the one where Riker is in the play, and then he like, wakes up and he's in, like, an insane asylum, and he can't figure out whether he's, like... that's the reality or the Enterprise is the reality.
Oh, my God. Yeah, this one's better.
I can't remember the name of that episode.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that one either.
But this one's better, I think.
Yeah, we picked a good choice. They're really... They're really good at showing you how tired Riker is based on his hair mess up. Oh, he didn't comb his hair? He's so tired.
He's so tired, dude.
That dude's sleepy as fuck. Look at his hair.
I love that he talks about being on edge the whole time or whatever, but he like only says 2 things that are even slightly rude the whole episode.
Yeah, he kind of snaps at Crusher, who, again, is looking damn fine.
Oh, yeah, always.
When I was watching it, I was like, all right, Jeff, all right. And, like, that sounds weird, because, like, I love redheads, right? But, like, she's not a real redhead, so...
She is a real redhead, actually.
I thought she was... They would give her a wig,
They gave her a wig because her hair wasn't the right style they wanted.
What?
Like, they wanted this, like, big, poofy, like, late 80s, early 90s hair on her, and her hair is, like, straight. And
it's like a normal hair.
She has, like, thin, straighter hair, and this is her hair in this episode. Yeah, she stopped wearing the wig after season 2, I think.
Yeah.
Like, she comes back in season 3 and wears it for half that season, I think.
And then in the movies, they're just like... Do whatever you want. You're blonde now.
her hair is like turning white at that point.
Yeah, because
like
that's redheads.
Midpoint.
That's redheads, man.
I think about that with
keep our hair. It gets gray. It just turns gray.
I would think about that when I'm watching MythBusters because we went through a bunch of like watching MythBusters while we ate dinner.
Yeah,
and,
that's a great show.
Adam Savage starts out with like this fiery red hair, and like by halfway through the show, his hair is like white. He has like white hair and stuff. And I wonder, like, what does that do to your self-perception? Like, that you just changed that much, that quickly.
Well, if you ever need a reminder as a redhead that you have red hair, pull your pants down and look down. It's pretty obvious.
I've heard that.
You've heard it?
I've heard that.
You've heard about it?
Like, I'm starting to get white hairs in my beard real heavy, and I'm not enjoying it much.
I'm getting well, the fun part is the hair on the top of my head is vacating, but the hair on the side of my head is turning like Reed Richards.
You're getting like the white stripes?
Yeah, I'm getting the distinguished gray sides.
That's what I want. I want my beard to stay the same and for me to get the distinguished gray sides, but it's not happening that way.
Well, when we fusion dance, you'll get that part, and then I'll get your top hair.
Could you imagine how big the wiener on that fusion is going to be?
Then we definitely would need to wear pants during a podcast. They would hear the wiener.
They'd hear the helicoptering that we're always doing.
It'd be like a fucking Vietnam movie, like a Huey landing. Like fucking, I don't know, Platoon. There's a Vietnam
Full Metal
movie.
Jacket.
Yeah, there's another one. Forrest Gump, parts of it, I guess.
Yeah, parts of that one. So, let's go ahead and hop into it before we take a break. I want to get through the beginning of this real quick.
Yeah, there's a bunch of nonsense in the beginning of this episode.
Riker has trouble getting out of bed, right? And he, like, drags himself over to the sink, and he does that thing that people on TV do all the time where they look in their eyes. They pull their eyelid down.
Yeah, and he looks at his teeth, too,
Yeah.
which is kind of okay, I guess. Maybe you do that, but,
I do not do that. If you do that at home, that's fine, but from my personal experience, it's strange. It's a strange thing
I don't
to
pull
do.
my eyelids down. What is that gonna do?
Still got veins down there. Cool.
Oh,
Everything's
my eyes are
working.
still in my head. All right, cool. They're not over there. They're in my head.
The buzzer goes off on the wall, and he checks it, and he realizes it's like his third snooze. He's late.
Oh, he hit snooze thrice? He thriced it? Oh,
because
man.
why else did a buzzer go off to let him know that he's like 15 minutes late or something?
So you and I are both like crazy sleep pattern guys,
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
I sleep through my alarm, like my phone alarm. Like I don't wake up for it.
I don't set an alarm anymore. Like, I work all night, and then I just let myself wake up whenever the fuck I wake up.
Yeah, I have that like gradual pretty sounds wake up going, and I double up. So I set that one, and then I set like the blary alarm, the wake up the fuck up alarm.
You've
But
run
I sleep right.
You've run out of fucking time. Get up alarm.
Yeah, that one. But I sleep right through the nice birds chirping and the music that plays.
Is it like the Jeff and Josh shoot the shit music? Dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's exactly like that. I actually just program our latest episode into my my phone to play it to wake up.
Dude, that'd be perfect for me, because the instant I heard my own voice, I would cringe awake. It'd be perfect. Yeah, like, well, my sleeping schedule's been completely fucked lately because maintenance comes to my house every single solitary day now.
Yeah, you're having trouble maintaining your sleeping.
Ah.
That's patreon.com/mclasspodcast.
If you love what we're putting down, head on over to our web zone and put down your cash.
Put your money where your mouth is, or something. I don't know.
So, Geordi and Data are working on charting
The Amargosa Gaspera or something. I remembered it.
diaspora.
Diaspora.
That's what it is, yeah.
But the Amargosa system is the system that they blow up in Generations.
Oh, awesome. Fuck these guys, right?
There you go. They're not going to be studying it for long because it's going to be gone.
They're trying to study this cluster. This is diaspora. And
Yeah,
everyone's favorite character, Lieutenant Shipley, has been ordered to triangulate the sector points. He's in every scene in engineering like we're supposed to know him.
Yeah.
Riker comes in and apologizes for being late, and all I could think of is like, remember when Geordi chewed Barkley the fuck out for being late? And Riker just shows up and he's like, I overslept.
You can't chew out your superior, though.
Yeah, exactly. I outrank you, so I overslept. That's my excuse, and you can't do anything about it.
At least he's honest, and he's like, yeah, I overslept. But I guess, like, that's to, like, establish that, like, it really is a problem, right?
Yes.
Like, you could take the cold open as just, like, him being like, the episode starts this way for some weird reason.
I'm real sleepy.
Yeah.
Geordi tells him everything they're trying to do. They're gonna figure out a new way to boost the long-range sensor array using the warp drive.
Sounds not like a good idea.
No.
Whenever I hear this, I'm like, this sounds terrible and dangerous.
It sounds like a terrible idea, and Riker is like, he hasn't slept in like fucking 4 days. He's like, yeah, do it, whatever.
Do it. Plug it in. Fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna run the sensor array through the warp drive, and then we're gonna shoot BBs at it and see what happens. And he's like, yeah, go for it.
Shoot BBs at it. We're gonna see what these BBs do to the warp core. All right.
But Data is like, excuse me, Commander, are you gonna attend my poetry reading today in 10 forward? And Riker's like, yeah. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
He's like, I'm looking forward to it. I love poems.
And then, like, Riker and Geordi, like, share this, like, fucking, like, almost dickish kind of, like, smile at each other. Like, I wonder what it's gonna be like. He's your friend.
Yeah. Also, I always think that he could definitely hear them because he's a fucking robot.
He's got super robot hearing.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care because he's got no feelings.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. They probably meant it because they're my friends.
Data reads his poetry, and it's hilarious because everyone's falling asleep, especially Riker because he's super sleepy.
Felis catus. I don't know all of it. I wish I did.
Felis catus. That is your taxonomic nomenclature. Your endothermic nature. Your endothermic quadruped, carnivorous by nature. I know it because of the rap version by Dan Bull.
Damn, I should listen to it more.
He's Ode to Spot. It's a banger, and but
well-crafted banger.
The audience doesn't enjoy it too much, and Riker keeps falling asleep. My favorite moment is Geordi and Worf slowly turning their heads towards each other. Oh man,
I love when Riker. Like they all stand up and clap for Data after his first poem or whatever, and then in the middle of Ode to Spot, like Riker's like does that head nod thing, and like Troy wakes him up and he starts clapping right away because he thinks it's over. That's fucking great. That's like comedy gold, man.
I fucking love it. And everybody's real uncomfortable suddenly, and Data's like, "Oh, you jumped the gun, sir," but
yeah.
Riker just kind of sits back down and sinks in his seat a little bit. And Ode to Spot is probably the best poem ever made, to be honest.
I mean, yeah. I think it is. It's the only one that I'll sit through.
It's clever. I heard that. I heard people give that review that it's clever.
Oh, right. Geordi's like, yeah, it was clever. This was clever. This was clever. Yeah.
And now that we've covered the most important part of the episode,
see you next week.
We are going to take a break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
When you get hold of the Nintendo Entertainment System, when you master Rob, the video robot, and meet the challenge of Gyromite, when you shoot the light-sensing zapper, when you play the system with the most arcade hits, you're playing with power. The Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
Back to the show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed those spooky messages. Ooh.
Halloween is spooky.
This episode's coming out a day before Halloween, right?
Yeah, here in Pennsylvania, we call it Mischief Night.
Yeah, they call it that in everywhere.
No, they don't. Only here do they call it that. Everywhere else is All Hallows Eve.
No, they call it Mischief Night in West Virginia, too.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I lived there.
No, that's only here, Jeff. Mischief Night.
They also only have Liberty here, so...
We only have Liberty because Liberty can only be heard as far as you can hear the bell ringing.
Oh, well, I guess I also don't have Liberty.
Well, they don't ring the bell because it's broken.
Yeah, they would break it further, and then Liberty would be destroyed.
Oh, God, what have we done?
So Riker goes to Dr. Crusher, who's looking mighty fine in this episode.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, I've been on edge all day. Get that shit out of my face!"
He's like, "You gotta hold that." It's that little flashlight thingy that they hold up. I don't know, sensor array.
It's a little sensor doohickey.
Yeah, doohickey sensor.
And he's like, "It's a real problem for me that I need like a real solution to." And she gives him a prescription for a hot milk toddy.
Yeah. Because that'll do it.
Yeah, a recipe
More
from
milk.
Captain Picard's Aunt Adele.
I didn't know Captain Picard was related to Adele, the
Yeah.
singer.
That's his Aunt Adele. She's 900 years old.
Damn. I bet she's looking good, though.
She's still got the pipes.
Yeah. Well, it's the milk toddies. It helps with that, too.
Jordy and Data and everyone's favorite Lieutenant Shipley work out their plan for the sensor array, and it works. The sensor output is heightened by 26%. Everybody's like, hey, this is the best.
We are awesome. Let's go party.
And then they get drunk and listen to Chemical Brothers for like 6 hours. Because it's the 90s, baby.
And they do ecstasy, which is now called space ecstasy.
Yeah, and it's 100% legal.
Yep.
It's called synth ecstasy, and it doesn't fuck up your brain.
Doesn't make you sad for like 3 days afterward. I mean, what?
Josh wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm just a legal boy.
Data's like, Jordy, how was my poetry? It seemed like everybody hated it. And Jordy's like,
die, but I gotta go.
I gotta go fuck a holodeck lady. I'm sorry.
And he's like, don't worry, I don't have feelings. I'm a stupid robot.
And Jordy still, as I would, I think, in this situation, has a lot of trouble telling him the truth.
No, you can't. You can't. That's terrible, right?
You suck. You're terrible. But he gives him some great advice, which is much better than telling him he's bad. I always say that if, like, someone tries to do something and they're bad at it and they ask you for feedback, you should be giving them advice on how they can do better, not telling them they suck.
Yeah, like number 1, don't suck at it.
Yes.
Number 2, be born good at something.
That's better advice.
Number 3, was Captain Picard on a date with that hot girl?
Data, please tell me. While we were taking a break, Josh listened to the Dan Bull remix.
Yeah, it's great.
And discovered that the ensign was touching Picard during the scene as well.
Yeah, she's touching. Like, she's like basically in his lap at one point.
On a date. This is Star Trek TNG future lap dancing when you touch someone's arm.
I mean, at very least, they're just fucking afterwards. Like, maybe it's not a date, but it's like they have an agreement of some kind. You know,
it's weird because like later on in the series, Picard falls in love with that lady who's like a science specialist, and
that doctor, mean lady.
Yeah, he can't be with her because she's his subordinate, but he's trash humping this fucking ensign all over the deck.
I mean, there is that part where they cut away and they're just dry humping on the couch, which I was like, wow, dry humping, huh? All right.
I didn't know that was still a thing in the future, but all right, cool.
I didn't know people over the age of 15 did that.
But Geordi tells him that he should focus more on what he's trying to say and not how he's saying it, which is great poetry advice. I wouldn't know how to put that into words.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of work, though.
He's a robot. He can do a lot of work.
What is he trying to say? That he loves Spot?
Yeah, he's trying to get across that he loves Spot and like how he feels about it, but he's talking about his fucking taxonomic nomenclature and shit.
He says something about Spot not being sentient, and I disagree with that entirely.
Well, Spot isn't sapient. He is sentient.
Yeah, he's sentient. He says you're not sentient.
Yeah, well, at this time, I think, like, still to this day, I think media uses sentient to mean sapient, and they're not the same thing.
They're not the same, yeah.
Like, sapient is understanding like, of yourself.
People. Yeah, yeah.
Like, you have a genuine understanding of yourself like a human being does. Sentient is just being capable of independent thought.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if I even believe that cats aren't even sapient. I don't know. My cats are pretty dope.
My cats are dumb as fuck. They're for sure not sapients.
The cats that you see are dogs that you see growling at mirrors. They're not.
No, well, like...
But not all animals do that. Not all cats do that.
I read a thing once that only, like, ravens... Like, there are only a certain amount of animals that can look in the mirror and recognize that it's them.
Yeah, monkeys can. Chimps, right?
But, like, my cat uses the mirror like a normal human does, where, like... If you're talking to someone and you're standing in front of a mirror, like brushing your teeth, you look at their reflection when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
If I'm in front of the mirror and my cat's beside me on the sink, she looks at my reflection in the mirror to meow at me. Like a normal human does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a normal human looks at my reflection and then meow at me. She's smart.
Cats are not dumb, so that's just my cat nitpick of the day.
Put some theme music in here. But yeah, he tells him he should focus more on what he's trying to say.
Right.
Suddenly, like, there's a fucking explosion in Cargo Bay 4, and they're not even that shocked about it. They're like, oh, we should send some people down.
Yeah, they're kind of like, there's 3 people in there. I hope they don't even say this, but they're just like, oh, let's go. Like, they're probably dead. Those guys are dead. Right?
It's like, yeah, get him. He calls on the I'm fucking gonna call it an intercom. Yeah, he puts the intercom on and calls down for a medical team to show up.
And they're kind of just strolling down the hallway. They're kind of just like, a boop-a-doo.
Here's the thing. There's an explosion. People could have survived. Go look.
I guess the thought is that, like, the ship's, like, really, like, self-automated. Maybe they're just, like, the fire's out and stuff. Like, who knows, right? I don't know. But then they get to the door, and they're like, don't open the door. There could be explosions in there.
Yeah, don't let the explosions out in the hallway.
Keep them in.
And, like, here's something I've noticed, and I think I've mentioned this before, is that Michael Dorn is supposed to be playing this big Klingon warrior who's, like, got a stick up his ass. And he's, like, a badass, and all he cares about is fighting and war and shit. But, like, when he walks, he does the most laid-back stroll I've ever seen anybody do.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, like, to seem imposing. Maybe he feels like he's walking imposingly. I don't know.
He's just walking, like, lazily is what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not really, like, trying to look tough. I mean, how do you walk tough, though? I don't know. I never know how to do that.
You use your big muscles and you flex them when you're walking.
I walk like the aliens later. Teep, 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 teep. That's how I would do it.
When we weren't recording, I was complaining about the little alien walk that they do, and they walk around on tiptoes, like super not imposing at all.
And they're click-clacking away, dude. Old click-clack over here. Click-clacking.
The click-clacks aren't them talking, it's them walking around. Click, 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 click.
They're wearing tap shoes and high heels.
They start going...
And then swing, swing, swing starts playing.
They all have top hats and start doing the can-can. That would have been a great ending to this episode.
I might have been on NyQuil. I might have seen that at that point. I might have been like, when did this? I don't remember this. Whatever.
So Worf shows up and they open the door and the 3 guys are just working in there and they all turn around like, what?
Yeah. They're wearing their work pajamas.
Yeah, they're wearing jumpsuits that look like they're from TOS. They're like the same jumpsuits.
I think that obviously that's one purpose. I guess they're just workmen, right? They're not the crewmen. They're not really like...
Yeah, I guess officers. Like if you look at like photos of mechanics during World War I and you look at them now, they're wearing the same outfit. So.
Yeah, but more yellow.
That's true. The world was a lot more yellow back then.
Well, they didn't invent colors till like the 60s, so...
Could you imagine living in that dank, dark, black and white world?
It'd be kind of cool. Everything would be like a movie.
Everything would be like really meaningful.
Like Sin City. To you. Yeah, everything would be very dramatic.
So they figure out they think it's probably just going to be a glitch in the eternal sensors that's causing this.
Yeah.
And which is quite a fucking glitch, right? Like, hey, there's an explosion. Right, don't worry, it was a glitch.
Well, that's what I was thinking about when I was watching it. I was like, this ship is like goddamn like state of the art. Like, what do you have to do to like make something fuck up in this fucking thing, right? Like, this isn't like a...
You leave the holodeck on for too long.
Besides that. Besides making a Moriarty.
That's what you do, dude. You leave that holodeck on too long, suddenly there's a Moriarty.
Next thing you know, Moriarty's running the show.
Maybe that ties into something we did recently that people will be able to check out soon. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows?
So they're just like run a level 3 diagnostic, which I don't even think is the highest level.
10 is the highest?
I think there's at least a level 5. So he's like, yeah, like, run McAfee on it and see what's up, and I'm going to bed.
You got Spybot on here? Get Spybot going. I'm going to go to bed. Hope they don't get abducted.
Yeah, hopefully that's what they say every night when they go to bed. Hopefully I don't get abducted. See you tomorrow.
I mean, after this, I'd start saying it. Don't get abducted.
After this, I would be like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. Hit me with that cortical stimulator.
Yeah, I'd be like, give me all that space drugs. Give them to me.
Just put them right in my brain in case I get taken to another dimension and have to fight my way out again. But
Yep.
Riker asks Geordi to like stop by his quarters in the morning at 0700 hours.
That's 7 a.m. for
7
you
a.m..
non-militaries.
We're definitely in the military, so of course we knew that.
Yeah, we're in Starfleet. Duh. Well, I guess not the military.
We're in the space military, which isn't a military.
NASA, but on steroids.
NASA, but with guns. So Geordi's like, yeah, I'll see you in the morning, boss. And he walks off. And he's like, if you're late again, I'm gonna yell at you like I did Barkley. Bye-bye.
Don't be late, loser.
Riker drinks the hot milk toddy, and he obviously doesn't like it. Like, he takes a drink of it, and he's like,
which is,
"Bleh."
nobody doesn't like milk toddy. Like, that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
They're delicious.
Like, that would make me, like, poop so bad, but it would be delicious at the time.
But you wouldn't. It wouldn't taste like poop at first. It would taste like
poop
awesome.
coming out of my butt, though.
Yeah, I know.
My butt mouth would taste poop.
Ugh.
What a strange thing to say. Anyway, so, like, a second passes, Riker's trying to get to sleep, and Geordi, like, knocks on his door. He, like, hits his ding-dong button.
Beep, beep, boop, boop.
And Riker's like, who is that?
Yeah.
He's like, it's me, it's Geordi. It's 0700. And Riker's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, then they do that commercial zoom in, and you're like, no, I gotta wait 2.5 minutes.
Here's the thing, right? Is the scary, spooky Halloween music in this episode is used very sparingly.
Yeah, they should just go full blown spook music, just
So, like,
scary as hell.
they always do that like like scary, spooky sting. In everything, they use it in this very sparingly. They use it right here when Riker's like, "But I thought I went to bed." And I was like, "There."
Yeah, Brandon Braga was like, "Put it in here."
Makes my nipples hard. Put it in here.
He's got alligator clips on his nipples because it's like the only way he can feel feelings. I mean, what?
He was like, maybe the aliens, maybe they're real big. Maybe they're real tall.
Maybe they're real tall. And what if their vaginas were huge?
What if they are all women and they're real tall? What if can we put that in the episode?
I gotta go.
I'll be in my bunk.
I'll be in my bunk. And he goes over to the Defiant set and just crawls up into one of the bunks.
He crawls up the tubes in the Defiant, yeah.
I'm home.
He loves the Jeffries tube, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he does. More like Brannon's tube.
So Worf is getting a haircut from everybody's favorite,
From
Mr. Mott.
Mr. Mott.
The ship's barber who has no hair.
That's so great. This dude is an annoying piece of shit.
He really
this
is
guy
super
sucks.
annoying to the point
I
where
would
the
never
other
go.
barber is like, ugh.
I would never go to get my hair cut. I'd be like, I would make a barber holodeck program. That's what I would do.
It's true. I guess they could do that.
Give me the world's greatest barbers. Put in all the information from all the greatest hairdressers and barbers of our age.
I guess here's the problem with that. Purely hypothetical here, but of course you would have to turn off safety measures because normally holodeck stuff can't harm you or take anything away from you.
Right.
What if several of the greatest barbers in history were psychopathic murderers?
Yeah, what if it put in like Sweeney Todd, right?
Yeah,
like
I
it
don't wanna get
downloaded like
meat-pied.
Sweeney Todd. Yeah, I don't want to get fucking killed by a Sweeney Todd barber. That would suck.
So you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful what you're going for here.
Yeah, good point, but I don't know.
I would
It
go
might
to
be
the
worth
holodeck
it.
and be like, holodeck, make Mr. Mott, but incapable of talking.
Also, make him don't kill me.
Yes, please. Why don't they ever ask that when they turn the safeties off? Hey, make them not kill me. Safeties off.
Yeah, make them just not shoot us.
Do you think Worf turns safety off when he's fighting against the Skeleton?
Absolutely. That's part of the whole gig, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean...
He probably turns safeties off when he's going on vacation in the fucking holodeck. They're like, all right, you need to go to the beach. And he's like, safety off. And then he fist fights a whale.
He can punch a shark or, like, maybe drown in the real water.
You think Worf can swim?
I mean, probably. Klingons probably can do everything. They're, like, good at everything physical, right? So swimming is physical.
The Discord pointed out the other day that, like, Worf's son, Alexander, timeline-wise, is 8 years old when he's a junior officer in Deep Space Nine and comes back looking like a teenager. He's 8.
How is he 8?
Like, timeline-wise, from, like, his birth date until then has been 8 years.
What?
So, this brings to question, you remember the time Worf killed the kid by playing soccer, and he smashed into him with his big brain and killed him?
Headbutts him, yeah.
Worf was probably 6'5" and looked 30 at that point.
he was like, you know, like those, like, Little League kids.
Like the
that they bring
Little
in.
League kids.
Yeah,
get smuggled
they're like
onto the team.
They're like 14 actually, but they're like supposed to be like 10 or 8 or however Little League is.
Fucking, I just thought that was a very interesting thought exercise.
Man,
Anyway.
I gotta look this up. I don't trust their math. I don't know.
I trust the Discord implicitly with my life.
If you want to be part of a Discord, go to patreon.com/mclasspodcast and donate $1.
Yeah, for as little as $1 a month, you too could tell us things to say on the show, and I'll say them without even doing any research. I'll just believe you.
Jeff will trust your terrible math. No questions asked.
Worf tells Mott he wants a trim, but not like last time.
Yeah,
Worf is pissed.
Can't get your money back when there's no money.
And Mott is very, like, demure about it. He's like, oh, you know, I'm sorry. It was my mistake. Your Klingon hair is so luxurious.
Yeah, he keeps chattering away. Man, I would literally lose my mind if this...
I'd be like, Mott, please shut up.
I used to get my hair cut by a lady called Sexy G.
I can picture her, and she is not sexy.
Sexy G, she told me... she calls herself Sexy G because she has grandkids and she still feels sexy. So, sexy grandma, Sexy G cut my hair. So
I got my hair cut once.
Just
never
once?
again, though.
I hate going. I hate it. It sucks.
I like getting my hair cut, actually. I'm always worried now because for like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I got my hair cut by the same lady.
Yeah.
Her name was
Sexy.
Stormy Cheek.
Did we both get our hairs cut by porn stars?
Stormy Cheek is a great name, by the way, but like...
Is that a real name?
That is her real birth name. Her parents were hippies.
Man.
And she was perfect. She cut my hair perfectly, like no one ever did before, so I'm really like weird about having somebody else do it now, and I have to because I live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know. We don't have Stormy.
I got my hair cut once in Huntington, West Virginia by this tiny little barber shop that I found by accident when I was just out walking around. And I went in and this old lady was in there and she seemed super nice. She was this like grandma type old lady and she's like, I've been a barber for 27 years. And I was like, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
And I sat down and she puts the thing around me, the cloak, which is pretty much strapping you into the chair. You can't leave now, right?
Yeah, you're stuck there. You can't get up.
And she immediately starts telling me about her dead husband and how much she misses him and how no one comes to visit her and how she's super lonely and how she might have cancer and how... And I'm just like, fucking like, oh my God, please finish. Please cut my hair.
You know what? You look a lot like my husband.
Oh no.
Why don't you come up to Sexy G's house tonight?
She was like, you look a lot like my husband, and now you're going with him.
And then she stabbed you, and you're like, program, end program.
And I like ran as fast as I could, right? I got to the next block, and I turned around, and there was no building there anymore.
Oh, you got large marged.
And I went to the gas station, and I was like, man, I got attacked at the barber shop. And they were like, there hasn't been a barber shop there for 30 years.
And And then the Star Trek sting played. Man, that's crazy.
And,
what a crazy real story that didn't happen. I mean, that did happen on Halloween.
Yeah, and then I got a Shasta. So, anyway.
That's the scariest part of that story, to be honest with you. Who the fuck gets those?
I've never actually drank a Shasta.
Nobody has. How are they still in business?
No, not I was going to say Juggalos, but that's Faygo that they drink.
Yeah, that's Faygo.
Which I've also never actually
I never had that. I had Iron Brew in England, which is like jet fuel.
English Faygo? What is that?
It's like English Mountain Dew, but it's orange. And it's like, they like outlawed it because it's like kills people because it's fucking terrible.
And you were like, I gots to have some.
They gave it to me and I was like, all right, sure, why not? I drank some of it and I was like, this is pretty fucking disgusting.
Yeah, they were trying to get rid of you, dude. They were trying to large Marge your ass.
Oh no, I looked back and they weren't there. What the fuck?
You look down and the can was just filled with snakes.
It just was a snake. Have I been drinking snake venom?
You look down and the snake winked at you because you've been making out with him every time you took a drink.
Oh, he was good at it. Snakes would be good at making out.
They do have that long, slithery, gross tongue that you would love. Anyway,
yeah, and their butt is a tongue.
Ugh. So, Mott is about to use his scissors to cut Worf's knot bangs, his like side thing. Worf's hair doesn't conform to normal shape that normal hair does.
Yeah, he's also in between hairs at this point, right? It's not long, it's not short.
His hair is very strange throughout most of TNG.
It's a wig.
It looks
that's
much better with the like the ponytail thing he gets in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's what like puts the whole thing together.
Oh yeah. But Worf grabs his hand. He's fucking pissed, right? He's like...
Yeah, because he sees the scissors.
Yeah, he's like, these scissors are like, I don't like them. Get them on my fucking face. And he doesn't talk or anything. He just holds his hand there, and Mott's like, what did I do? I'll cut it right, I promise.
Yeah, Mott's freaking out.
And Worf just gets up and saunters away.
He kind of just walks away, and Mott's probably like, lost another one, old Motty.
You're never gonna get out of debt like this. You're never gonna pay off the triad like this, Marty.
Come on, Marty, get it together.
So Geordi is hard at it, trying to figure out what's causing these sensor problems, right?
We're still on this bullshit.
And Riker's like, just turn those sensors off, dude. Just turn them off.
Shut it down.
And Geordi yawns. He's like, oh, I'm sleepy. And Riker's like, me too.
Haven't been sleeping so good. We all need shore leave. Gotta go to Ryza and get our fuck going.
Gotta go to Ryza and get 1,000,000 hours of sleep and sex at the same time.
Sleep sex.
So next up is a moment that is a little confusing for a second. And it doesn't really fit the narrative that much. This whole like technology isn't working thing that they kind of drop after a couple times.
Yeah.
Like Geordi's like, oh, my visor cut out and I'm dizzy, and it's the second time today that.
Well, they
happened.
need a reason for him to go, right? Like he needs his own problem.
Yeah, couldn't he just get dizzy?
Yeah, I don't know. They kind of like use the visor as a MacGuffin here, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work.
It's just like a minor nitpick. It's because this episode's great. I got no problems with it, but like they talk about technology kind of shutting down or like malfunctioning.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to tie into the fact that the scan was incorrect, but you don't really need that because the scan is the only part of that matters, and the scan is incorrect because like they're routing it through that conduit that's connected to the other universe.
Right, so they're gonna see that eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna matter that the scan doesn't work.
But he does end up going to Doc Crusher, and she thinks there's a bacterial infection around his neural implants. She has never seen this bacteria before in her life.
Which is like
it's going back to work.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably fine. We have a database of everything ever, but I don't know what this is. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. It's not in the database. It could be flesh eating for all I know. I don't know anything about it.
Necrotizing fasciitis.
But look, it's my lunch break, so you go ahead and go back to work.
You get going now, Jordy. And he's like, okay.
Okay, Mom. I mean,
Space Mom.
I mean, Dr. Crusher. He's already out the door.
He runs down the hall.
Jordy comes back and Data's like, oh, did you not go to sickbay?
Yeah, I love this part.
Jordy's like, what? Yeah.
He's like, I was there for like an hour and a half, dude.
And he's like, no, according to my internal chronometer, you've been gone for 9 minutes.
Yeah, he says a minute and 15 seconds how long he's been gone.
Yeah, you've been gone like very short period of time. And Jordy's like, no, man, it's an hour and a half. Check it. And Data checks with the ship's computer and finds out that he's the one that's wrong.
Yeah, and he's like kind of shocked. He's like, I'm mistaken, which is kind of funny because you're like,
because he's a computer. It would be like your computer not knowing the correct time.
Right, which, man, gotta run McAfee at that point.
That's what they're doing. That's what he does. He's like, I'll run myself McAfee. I'll be back. And back on the bridge, Riker is like, hey, take us closer to the anomaly out there, because we're gonna take like
Pictures.
gravimetric readings.
Sure, gravity pictures.
And Ensign Rager is the one who's piloting, and she's like, oh, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, like she's like, the ship won't go in there, and it
won't do what I press the buttons for. I'm a millennial. And Riker's like, let me do it, I'm a boomer, and he gets out of his seat.
Yeah, I can drive stick.
And he sits down at the console, but like he immediately freezes up and does this weird thing where he kind of touches it a little bit.
Yeah, he's like touching the edge of the computer console, and it's like, does he want to fuck that computer console?
Yeah, did he just notice how sexy it is? Is that what's happening?
Is he like, man, these retro futuristic curves are really doing it for me?
They do it for me. I couldn't blame him.
Better go to the holodeck and make a jerk-off arm.
Just reference things we didn't even say on the podcast.
Well, we should have.
Yeah, we did miss out. There was a lot of gold during that break that you, the listener, missed out on. If you want to hear it, you can go to patreon.com/mclasspodcast, and for as low as $1, still not hear it, but
it's gone forever. Needless to say, we talked about Cousin It jerking off your dicks.
Yeah, so now you know, and if you don't know, now you know. Geordi and Data find a subspace particle emission coming out of the conduit that they were running the warp core energy through.
Did they find it at night?
I don't understand that.
Because then it would be a nocturnal subspace particle emission.
Oh my fucking god. Future Josh, when you're not on drugs, do you want to leave that joke in this?
I'm leaving it in, baby.
Yeah, they find a glowing plasma conduit, and
yeah, they're like, look up there, that thing's glowing.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's glowing bright fucking blue, dude.
Yeah, there's a couple of points in this when I'm like, do you want to be near that or not?
Yeah, there is a point when there's like a diamond shape in the middle of the cargo bay that's glowing, and Geordi and Data stand a foot away.
They're
from
right
it.
next to it. And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that, but okay. Yeah, maybe Data can do it, but
that is a funny moment earlier when they're like, don't stand clear of the doors because there might be a million explosions inside, and they just leave Data to open it.
He just stands there. It's like, what?
I'm expendable.
Yeah, he wants to prove how tough he is. I know it.
He has no feelings, but he does have fragile masculinity.
Yeah, he's very concerned about his strength.
They figure out it's a subspace rift, and the energy that it's emitting shouldn't even exist in their own universe. Like, subspace energies dissipate in our universe within 9 seconds.
Yeah, tetrions or something, right?
Yeah, tetrions, yeah. And Picard is in this episode now as well. He's not just on a date at the beginning.
Oh, he's back from his date. Cool.
It's been 2 days since his date, but they've been really at it in his quarters. So
yeah, that makes sense. You know,
he's like, "Is this thing gonna pose a danger to the ship?" And Geordi says, "Nah, not unless it spreads," which for sure it's not.
Why wouldn't it? Like, you have to assume it had spread, right? Like, it didn't just like show up.
And they all look at the camera just for 1 second, and then look back to each other.
Go back, yeah.
The plan
Very
is that
naked
if
gun.
it does start to spread, they're just going to beam the bulkhead out in space.
Good plan. That's a real good plan. Why? Okay, like, I'm not a astrophysicist or a quantum physicist, but like,
Sure.
why would that matter? Like, why would beaming the bulkhead out take the subspace rift away?
As far as they understand it at this point, it is connected. It's coming from that conduit. That's the original point of... It's his point of origin, and if they move the conduit, then it'll move as well.
I would think it would just be affixed in space-time. Like, it wouldn't matter where it was, right? It could be in the middle of the ship, in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't matter.
Well, I guess there's evidence against that because they're moving. The ship is moving at this point. Like, even if it's just moving, like, slightly, it's so huge that every move would be, like, obvious. Like, it would be...
Yeah.
It would be, like, on one point of the ship, and then 15 minutes later, it would be in another.
I guess. You're right.
Science, bitch! Anyway.
I got told.
I did not mean to tell you.
I got told about science.
So, Riker goes to talk to Troy in 10 forward, and the camera never leaves their table. You just know it's 10 forward because the table is lit from the inside for some reason.
That's a sweet table. It probably costs a lot on Etsy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's like at least $1,000 to get on Etsy with the lights.
Then you gotta get it shipped. Oh god, it's a nightmare. It's a logistical nightmare.
It is. I see so much shit on Etsy that I'm like, God, if I had the money, right?
Yeah, no, it's the problem with that fucking website. You're like, this is really cool, but there's one of them and it costs $5,000.
Yeah. There's this. I've talked about it before, but there's this lady who makes. Did you ever play Link to the Past?
Yeah.
Do you remember the item, the Book of Medora, that you got to get so you can read signs that are in ancient Hylian, so you can get
I
into
remember
temple?
the book, but I don't remember what it looks like.
It's basically just it's a book that teaches you Hylian, right? And on Etsy, there's this lady who makes a book. She makes a replica of the Book of Medora, and it has
See it.
a key. Yeah, it has a key in it that teaches you Hylian, so it does exactly what it does in the game.
Well, fuck me. I need that now.
Which
How
is
much
really,
is this?
really fucking cool. It's not even that much. I just can't, like...
Oh, this one has, like, rupees and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
It's fucking... I want it so bad. And one of these
Yeah.
days I'm going to save up a little bit of money and get it, because it's
How
so
much
cool.
I only
I
saw
think
a
it's
picture
only
of
like
it.
$35-$40. It's not even that much, but...
Found it.
That's a lot to me. It's a lot to me, damn it.
Damn it.
But, like, Riker sort of explains that when he was sitting at the console, he suddenly had this, like, deep-seated fear for some reason he couldn't understand. He felt like he was trapped.
Yeah, he got scared.
And Troy mentions that this is, like, the third time she's heard of this.
Yeah. She's been paying attention.
And really, like, Troy is a linchpin in a lot of episodes because, like, her empathic abilities sort of, like, lead to the correct answer.
Yeah, everyone else is just ding-donging it up, walking around being stupid.
She's like wildly undervalued in the
Yeah.
fandom for what she's good for on the show.
Yeah.
But she decides to bring all the people together in the observation lounge that have had these same fear responses from an object. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that it's Worf, Geordi, Riker, and some lady.
She was at the reading. She's at the poetry reading.
Yeah, so Data's poetry caused all this.
I think now we're sciencing.
I'm so afraid of objects because Data mentions them in his poetry. I'm afraid now.
Yeah, this poor lady though. She's probably like, why am I here?
Yeah,
I'm
why
not
me, right?
Yeah, I'm not a Starfleetman.
I'm just somebody's sister that came along or something.
Yeah, or like their aunt who makes hot toddies.
That's why she's important on the ship, man. You gotta have them hot toddies. They start to put together, like, a vague idea of where they were or what's happened to them.
They're kind of like shotgunning it at first. They're like, they go to the holodeck, right?
They end up in the holodeck like Riker comes up with this idea to use the holodeck.
Yeah, to like gather see. So they go to the holodeck and they're like, make a table. It's like a wood ass fucking dining table, right?
That scene starts out so slow, but by the time they get to the metal table, it starts to get quick, creepy.
Yeah. Because they're like, now make this, now make this, now make this.
And like, they're all being very affected by every time something shows up again. Like, they're remembering, and it's terrifying them, and you can tell. It's really well done.
I remember being afraid of this when I was little. I remember being like, this is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
like, you know?
It's like, this scene makes the later scene look tame. Because what you're expecting from this is not really what you get when you see the aliens and everything.
Yeah, so this is like, I mean, obviously, whenever this came out, it's like 93, 92, 93, 90, whatever. Like, this is like the alien abduction thing, right? Like, they're like, we're being abducted, someone's taking us. And
the thing is, there have been plenty of episodes of Star Trek about aliens kidnapping somebody.
Yeah.
But it's always been like, oh, those Klingons
got me, right.
Took Spock or something. It's never been like, these faceless creatures beyond our understanding have taken us in our sleep. It's not the type of abduction we know.
And they're not letting us sleep, and they're just like fucking with us somehow. They're putting bacteria in our brains or something.
And chopping our arm off and just soldering it back on.
I guess, like, Starfleet could do that, too.
Yeah,
right?
Starfleet could definitely be Greys if they wanted to.
That would be cool.
That would be against the Prime Directive.
Would it, though?
I mean, okay, Janeway. Anyway,
but I wanted to do it.
Look, the Prime Directive doesn't matter when I want to do something.
Yeah.
Only when other people want to do things.
Oh, now who do we sound like? Oh, no.
There is a really great moment, though, when like they finally they start doing the sounds in the room. Like, there's clicks happening.
Yeah, they sound like those little, like, cricket clicky things. Did you ever play with those when you were a kid?
Yeah, it's probably what they were, actually. The sound department did it.
Yeah.
And they all kind of, like, take a step back, and they're all, like, horrified, and Geordi says, I've been in this room before.
It's great. That's a great line. It's so good.
Says, we've all been in this room before.
Yeah, so fucking spooky.
It's
You're getting
super
abducted.
fucking too spooked out. I had to turn the show off.
I take a break.
I had to get under a blankie with my teddy bear.
Get a flashlight ready.
For sure. It was daytime, but I still had that flashlight.
Yeah, fucking, yeah, dude.
What if he turns the sun off? I'm fucking ready. Back in sickbay, everybody's being examined. Like, they realize something is really up now.
Mm-hmm.
And Crusher found, like, super raised serotonin levels.
Yeah.
In the hippocampus, which suggests that they had a neurosedative used on them.
Pretty fun. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, not when they're cutting my arm off and putting it back. I mean, as long as they put it back, I guess. But I don't care for it.
No, I'm not gonna like it. You can do it, but I'm not gonna like it. I don't have to.
I'm gonna give you a very poor review on Subspace Yelp.
The arm surgery, not pleasant. Didn't need it. 1 star.
Did not enjoy the arm surgery. Seemed needless. Arm worked beforehand.
Didn't need it.
So they find tetron particles in subdermal tissues, which is the same stuff that was in the cargo bay and the same stuff that comes from subspace.
Neat.
And Data has found out that he lost that 90 minutes earlier. Like,
he carbon dates his fluids.
Yeah, he finds out that he doesn't have a record of the warp core energies in his fluids, which makes you wonder, like,
what's going on?
What does that do with
there?
the humans?
Yeah. I don't know. It's sort of like a Star Trek-y, but also kind of lazy way to be like,
a little bit.
This is how Data found out, right?
But he was not aboard the Enterprise for that lost time.
You would think that they could, like, make Data be like, oh, my internal servos, like, are affected by the power level or something. I guess kind of like what they do, but like
it could have been that, like, I found my like internal scanning system found traces of Tetrion during that period.
During that period, yeah, that would make.
But
more
I mean,
sense.
it does raise questions about the warp core if you pay too close attention to it. But otherwise, I think it works fine.
Yeah, maybe we need to look at the shielding around the warp core.
Yeah, maybe put some on it.
Maybe put it behind a wall at very least.
Picard asks the computer if anybody's been missing. And it turns out 2 crew members, Lieutenant Hagler, who we met earlier, and Ensign Rager, have been gone for a while.
Yeah. The computer's like, shit, yeah, people are missing. It's crazy.
I don't even know where they went, dude. I don't even know how they went.
How fucking, how ridiculous. I'd be pissed off if I was Picard. I'd be like, man, nobody knew that 2 people are, like, gone?
Computer, why the fuck didn't you tell me this?
Yeah, right?
This is, like, anomalous. This should have been recorded.
Yeah, I guess the computer is just like, whatever, I'm just a ding-dong computer.
The computer's like, you did not ask. Fuck you.
The computer in Discovery when it's like, I can't do that. Oh, God. It's so dumb. Anyway.
The hell up, computer. He contacts the bridge, and they order level 4 security alert with raised shields. And they're going to have to find the source of the Tetrion emissions in order to find out where their missing crew members are. But that kind of gets interrupted by the important part we've talked about a bunch. Crusher's fairly shocked to find out that Riker's arm has been surgically removed and then reattached with a 0.02 micron offset.
They couldn't even put it on straight.
And Riker's like... And Riker looks at the camera and opens his mouth and it goes boom, boom, boom.
Oh my god. It's crazy.
It's so scary.
So much Halloween is
That's
happening.
a little Jodorowsky though, isn't it? Like opening the mouth and sound effects come out.
Yeah, it's yeah. Weird.
But like they're working on the analysis still. They're trying to figure out like what the fuck is happening. And the Tetrion emissions that were just coming out of that conduit have created a rupture in space-time in their cargo.
Yeah, there's like a wormhole now.
And they put they put like shields around it, like a containment field. And it's still growing, and they just have to keep moving the field because it's just going to rupture the field if it gets to it.
Yeah, this is when they're like, can we beam it out? And they're like, nah.
Nah, you can't beam subspace energy. It doesn't work that way.
They're like, we can't get a lock on it because it's not here. It's like everywhere.
Yeah, they're talking about that, trying to figure out what the fuck they're gonna do, and Worf is like, Captain, Lieutenant Hagler has been returned to the Enterprise. He is in his quarters. Mm-hmm. This time, Crusher rushes down the hallway. She doesn't just saunter. She runs. And overrides his door, and he just fucking, like, passes out on the ground. I was like, did they take his lungs?
Yeah, worse than that. They fed him Chipotle.
I had Chipotle in restaurant once and had to run in the bathroom to get sick.
Yeah, Chipotle will fucking kill you.
Like, I tried to eat it, is the thing. That was where I went wrong.
You ate it with your mouth,
You're supposed to, like... try it. You're not supposed to eat all of it.
Yeah, if you eat all of it, you're done. That's it.
I like Chipotle. It's good. It tastes good, but they give you 6 portions worth.
Yeah, you'll just puke.
You have to only eat 1 portion's worth, and figuring out where that is.
That's on you, man. That's all up to you. That's part of the game.
It is a game. You're paying for the experience as well.
It's a 4D dinner. Doesn't stop when you're done eating.
Yeah, the Lieutenant Hagler's blood is turning into liquid polymer.
Which sounds fun.
It's I could not imagine how painful that would be.
Yeah, why did they do that? They're just dickwads.
They're just experimenting on people for fucking fun, it seems like.
Yeah, they come back in Star Trek Online. You get to see these guys.
What do they do?
They're kind of, I don't know if, I guess it's not canonically, but they're attached to the Alachi, and the Alachi are these, like, weird, like, interdimensional aliens that kind of like steal people for reasons, and they're involved with the Romulans a whole bunch. Like the Romulans like use them as like a sort of a weapon against Federation, sorta. They just take people and they live in like a upside down universe, like from Stranger Things. Like their universe is like toxic, kind of. They're in an episode of Enterprise. You can watch them.
Are
in
they?
That.
The Alachi?
Yeah. Huh. They're not these guys, the Click-Clacks, they're kind of like a subservient race to them. They're kind of like a worker race, I guess, that they're like insects.
Is it their official name, the Click-Clacks?
Look, no, I don't know. I just call them. I guess they're Alachi, but they're just like Click-Clack Alachi. I don't know what they're. I don't know.
Alachi, comma Click-Clacks.
Alachi, comma Click-Clacks, comma Metallica.
Geordi says that the subspace containment field isn't working, and they can't beam it out into space because you can't get a lock on because of nucleonic interference.
Yeah, obviously, I knew that, Geordi.
And they have hours before the hull ruptures. And I feel I may have just like misheard this, or I was not paying attention. That he says 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah,
But then,
I forget what it is.
Riker goes to sleep. He goes sleepy.
No, they make him go to sleep.
Yeah, but like, all I wonder is like, are the Click-Clacks like looking through the tunnel like a TV? Like, wait for him to go to bed.
How would they know, right? Yeah, who knows? Maybe they put a thing in him or something.
He's going, yeah, you sleep, big boy. Oh, I love it.
Go to sleep, Beardy.
I love it when you snore for me.
It's got looking a little Brown on Braga in here.
Brandon Braga played all of the Click-Clacks.
I like the Click-Clacks. They remind me of me.
I like it when they do their teensy tiny little steps. They figure out a way that they can close the rupture is by using a graviton pulse, but it has to be done from the alien side, not theirs.
Sure, I guess. Why not?
I don't know why, but it does. And
I guess it's a one-way door? Who knows?
Riker's like, look, they're going to take me when I sleep one way or another because they've taken me every single day, which is kind of a leap, really, because, like, what if they stop?
Yeah, you don't know.
But he's like, send me over there, keep me awake somehow, and Crusher figures out using a neurostimulant will keep him awake. And you guys can lock onto my tricorder and use it like a subspace beacon, or they give him a subspace beacon. And they're going to use that as a way to beam their big bomb over. Their big bomb.
Because they're in the multiverse, right? Like, they don't know...
Yeah, they're in... Like, subspace is apparently like a honeycomb. It's like a balloon that fills with too much air.
Yeah, an infinite balloon that you fill with a honeycomb.
Yeah, honeycomb of balloons that you fill with honey, and
it's an infinite balloon that you pour honeycomb cereal inside.
Oh yeah, sign me up.
I'm in. Let's go.
What's your favorite cereal, Josh?
I like Frosted Mini Wheats are good.
Yeah, Frosted Mini Wheats are good.
Cinnamon Life is delicious.
That's true. It's true.
Smacks are good when they don't have E. coli in them.
I'm not a big fan of Smacks.
I like Smacks. They're underrated. People make fun of me for Smacks.
I mean, you can like whatever garbage you want. It's fine.
I'll tell you one cereal I hate that everyone loves: Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I can't eat it.
I used to love it a lot more as a kid. It's like a little too much for me.
It's a little much. I never had it when I was a kid.
But then,
so that's
like,
maybe
I'll
why.
turn around and eat my favorite cereal, which is Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, Reese's Puffs, though. Yeah.
Reese's Puffs.
Reese's
Peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Did I put that in a commercial?
I think you did.
Yeah, I think I did.
I think we've talked about favorite cereals before. I also,
it's important because it's
really
like a food
love,
group around here.
I really love putting bananas in Frosted Flakes.
Oh, that's good.
It's fucking amazing.
Frosted Flakes rule, dude.
Yeah, Frosted Flakes are real fucking good. I'll Raisin Bran a ton, like the 2 scoops, the extra
I don't
raisins.
like raisins. I won't eat raisins. I do not eat raisins.
Love them. Give me all your raisins at lunch, then.
All right, I don't get any because my mom loves me.
Dude.
My mom gives me real food, like tasty cakes.
Real foods.
And she writes a note on my napkin that says, "I love you. Have a good day.
I love you. Don't get diabetes.
Don't take Jeff's raisins. They're dog shit."
I love raisins, dude.
I'll eat raisins out of a box or whatever.
Yeah, I like them out of a box. I love them in cereal. I'll eat a raisin
I won't
anytime.
eat them in cereal. No.
You know what? I don't like it when people put raisins in, like,
cookies
and shit. Get that away from me.
No, that's bullshit. Like an oatmeal cookie with raisins, like, I'll eat it, but, like...
I'd rather just have the oatmeal cookie, though.
It would be better. Yeah, it would be better without the raisins.
Like, I'll eat it. It's okay. It's like, I like brownies without nuts in them, but I'll eat them with nuts. It's fine.
Plain brownies are the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like, if there's peanut butter in it, that's fine. But if there's nuts or almonds or whatever the fuck people put in brownies...
I'll still eat it, but, you know, I'd much rather have not it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to soft baby food.
I need my soft baby food for my baby mouth.
Like, Worf comes up with a good idea. I don't remember what it is, but I know that Geordi does shoot him down.
I don't remember what it is either.
He's like, use a homing device. Oh, we already talked about that. Yeah, they end up using the sensor relay emitter. So they do use Worf's idea. Geordi just takes credit for it.
Worf says his idea, Geordi's like, wait, I have an idea. And he says the exact same thing Worf does.
I have a better idea.
Yeah, I guess I have to pinpoint which honeycomb it's in, because it's infinite, subspace, whatever.
And they do that by, like, following the signal that Riker's leaving behind.
Yeah, but they don't have, like, a bomb. They just sort of bombard it with, like, some sort of anti-universe particles or something.
It's a graviton pulse, is what they call it.
Sure. Which is, like, they're pretty correct about gravity being waves. Because we just discovered that gravity is waves now. Did you know that? We did that.
Yeah, it's weird how, like, a lot of sci-fi concepts turn out to be real later on.
Yeah.
Like, somebody pulls it completely out of their ass and it turns out to actually be the truth.
Well, they've been talking about warp drive forever, and for a long time they were like, it's impossible. You need, like, the energy of the universe. And now they're like, nah, you wouldn't need that much. You could make it be, like, the energy that Jupiter puts out. And they're like, you could probably make it less. Which is, like, crazy.
No, use Jupiter. Just fucking shove Jupiter in this shit.
If you have antimatter, maybe that's what you need, right?
Fuck about Jupiter. Use it.
No, we need Jupiter. It blocks all those asteroids, dude.
Look, give me them asteroids. Yum, 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 yum.
No!
Riker goes and lays down in his bed in his uniform with all of his equipment on and a gun.
Good night.
And he lays there with his eyes open until he gets like, this is not how I expected it. The first time I watched this episode, I did not expect him to be levitated Keymaster style or fucking
Zool.
Yeah, Zool style.
Zool in bed. Yeah, no, they should have just cut to, like, him being in there. Like, they didn't even show him.
The perfect way to do it is, like, he's staring, he, like, looks up because he hears the click, and then he lays back down, and he closes his eyes.
Yeah.
And then there should have been a close-up on his eyes, and he
then
opens
wakes
them,
up
and he's
in the room. Yes, exactly.
That would be scary as
exactly.
fuck. But instead, he gets mystically carried out like a damsel through the space vagina.
Yeah. He's got to go through the space vagina.
And Worf tells Picard that Riker just disappeared.
He's gone.
And Riker wakes up on that same examination table that we saw. Actually, not the same examination table that we saw in the holodeck. They were smart about this. Like,
I thought about this too.
Yes.
They made it different, which is really smart because they wouldn't. How would the holodeck know exactly? Right.
Like, whoever was doing like set, I think probably Michael Okuda was probably the one that was doing all the set design and props and stuff.
Yeah, he's smart about it.
Yeah, he was smart as fuck by creating, like, a second table that has all the same parts but is completely different. Looking.
Yeah, because they wouldn't know how it would have looked.
And even if they did know, they didn't describe it in a way that the holodeck would be able to recreate it that way.
Right.
Super smart. This is why Star Trek heads and shoulders above other sci-fi, in my opinion. They care about that type of shit.
It's the little things, man.
So he ends up in a room with a bunch of fish monks, and they tippy-toe around clicking at each other. Walking around on their tippy toes. And he looks over and sees Ensign Rager is on the same table, and they do some really fun, like, camera work in this scene by having it, like, look very disjointed as it moves around the room. I kind of wish they would have stuck with that, because, like, the shots after this of the room are all, like, flat, regular angle shots.
Yeah, they should make the aliens not ever be seen. Just have them be in hoods or something.
Have them walk like normal or float. That would be way creepier.
If they could float, that would be cool.
Slide from place to place like they're all wearing Heelys. I'd be so scary. Heelys?
Oh, this was before Heelys, though.
Dude, this is so long after Heelys.
Wait, when were Heelys?
Heelys were in the 2000s. This is thousand years later.
This is like 400 years later, yeah. So,
yeah, so they all have space Heelys, and they're sliding around the room. That'd be way cooler. Scarier. Like, Riker keeps, like, closing his eyes every time he comes, like, they come around, like, oh, yeah. I'm asleep.
I'm asleep.
Santa, I'm asleep. And, Geordi can't find Riker in subspace, and they have like 14 minutes until the containment field breaches, and like they pretty much have to send the pulse over beforehand, because like if it doesn't work, then they're fucked.
Then they're all gonna die, right? So they gotta sacrifice. It's the old gotta kill two to save everybody.
It's true. There's something like that in something we did recently that people might be able to enjoy as well. Who knows?
I don't know what you're talking about. They'll know soon. Maybe they already do. I don't know.
I'm asleep, Santa. Anyway, that's what I do when I sleep.
Yeah, man.
They're taking skin samples from Rager. And they all walk over, like, the one guy, he's the only one doing work. All the others are, like, slacking off, talking about fucking, like, who's hitting it on who, you know?
Yeah, did you hear Captain Picard is banging that hot ensign or whatever?
They're watching the ship like it's, like, we're watching the ship. Do you think Picard and that ensign are doing it?
Weird. She was sitting really close to it.
He just keeps pretending like he's asleep, which for sure would not work out if they start cutting his arm off again. But
yeah, he'd be like, "Oh no,
this went exactly how I hoped it wouldn't go." But the relay emitter starts beeping, starts flashing.
Yeah,
LaForge locks in a subspace energy level of 16.2 keV. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for making those numbers.
I'm sure Kevin is the guy who finds out subspace exists, and that's why they name him Kevs.
The Kevs?
They were like, we'll name these coals after you, and he's like, nah, Kevs.
Kevin discovering subspace is like, oh yeah, for sure there's subspace. And everyone's like, I believe him.
They have like 4 minutes left before the containment field fails, so they try to use the graviton pulse, but the aliens counteract it. They're like, oh shit, they have technology too.
Yeah. Oh my god, my cat's jumping on stuff. Anyway, yeah.
That's why my door is shut, dude. They're like going nuts out there right now. I can hear them fighting.
I'm talking to nobody, so they're like, what?
Pay attention to me.
Yeah.
But like they try shifting to like random frequencies with the pulse, and they like compensate. Like apparently these aliens are like more advanced than the Borg, because the Borg are like different frequencies.
Yeah, they're like ahead of it. Like maybe they could see the future or something. Who knows, right?
Who fucking knows how subspace works?
Who even knows about these click-clacks, dude?
These click-clacks are fucking scaring me.
Halloween.
They're trying to keep the rift open, so Riker's like, now's my chance.
Yeah, he's kind of like not laying down. He's kind of just like looking around, like
and none of them notice, I guess. Yeah, they're like, all dumb fishmen. They're all wearing hoods, so they can't see past it.
Yeah, they don't have any peripheral vision, so they don't know what's going on.
He jumps up off his table like Mission Impossible style, and like does a combat roll across the room, and picks up Rager, and he shoots one of the aliens with his gun. He's like, bam!
Yeah, he like shoots its foot, and then it just like goes, ow! It just falls over.
Ah, my tiny feet!
Ah, my click-clacky booping feet! My little boopers!
My poopers!
You got my booper!
And it falls over and goes boop, 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 boop.
Turns into a strawberry.
He picks
2 cherries.
He picks Rager up and runs towards the the anomaly and just jumps the fuck into it.
Yeah, like Brandon Braga through a giant pussy.
Brandon Braga's behind that camera like, yeah.
There's gonna be a giant hole here, yeah.
I can picture it in my mind's dick.
I can see in my mind's dick. That's a good one.
Keep that in the podcast.
That's staying, and it all stays. It's all killer, no filler around here.
This podcast, all killer, no filler, MTV.
That's right.
The aliens send like a ghostwriter from the PBS show through the fucking the hole, and it flies out of the hole and into space.
Totally forgot about this. You're right. That's what it is. Ghostwriter, dude. And then, weirdly enough, Wishbone comes out next.
He's dressed like Sherlock Holmes.
I'm Evil Moriarty, Wishbone.
The ghostwriter apparently flies off back through time to Earth to teach some kids the meaning of reading.
Never to be seen again, or question marks?
Does the ghostwriter come back in Star Trek Online? Do they mention that?
No, you kind of no. It does not.
Oh, dude,
I don't
you know what it
that
is. The ghostwriter goes back through time and impregnates Troy in that episode.
Oh, the one with the babby.
Yeah, it impregnates Troy with the space baby and grows up into a space baby and then leaves again.
This is getting real Mel's Hole-ish over here.
Dude, I'm fucking making Star Trek TNG fan fiction about the ghostwriter.
You've been watching X-Files, I can tell.
It's true. Watching X-Files, like, X-Files launched a million conspiracy theorists into the world, right? It's a lot of people's, like, origin point for when they got into conspiracy theories.
And that's kind of, like, right before the internet. So, like, kind of everyone, and then the internet kind of pushed everyone into, like, we never landed on the moon!
Yeah, and, like, I'm watching it, and, like, it starts out like, oh, the government's keeping the secret of aliens existing from us. And I'm like, okay, I get why people, like, got into conspiracy theories because of this.
Right.
And then it's like, werewolves are real! Vampires!
I love those episodes, though. Like, those are my favorite ones.
The creature from the Black Lagoon!
Yeah, those are my favorite ones, though. I don't know why. I just think they're fun.
They're super fun.
They're really cool and funny, and they're, like, spooky in like a fun way, like it's like very Halloween-y, like Halloween spooky fun, right?
Like I had a fun time, especially watching the episode with the fish man. The fish man that ends up in the toilet.
Yeah, that's what is that, like season 3 or something? 2 or 3?
It's season 2.
Yeah. I gotta go back and watch these.
He fucking catches a ride. He, like, breaks out of police custody. They're gonna take the fish man to jail. He's gotta go to prison for his crimes.
Human jail, yeah.
And he like, kills the driver, and he runs towards the sign that says lake this way. And I'm like, oh, no, he's gonna live in the lake and be a monster. And he stops 5 feet in. The lake sign is still behind him, and climbs in a porta potty.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he did that.
And they do a very creepy, like, slow pan down towards the porta potty hole, and you see his face in it.
Yeah, that's like a iconic X-Files moment.
It's supposed to be
that.
creepy, but he's like up to his neck in human shit easily.
It's disgusting, dude. I would fucking kill myself if I was in a porta. That would suck.
Yeah,
that would suck.
I could hardly imagine a grosser situation than being dropped through the hole of a porta potty.
It would be terrible.
Jesus. I wonder if anybody ever had their kid on a porta potty.
And they fell in.
And the kid just fell in.
Maybe. Did I tell the story of my friend who peed on his mom on this podcast before?
No, but go right ahead.
I didn't tell it on this. Maybe I told it on the Continue Cast. I don't remember. Yeah, my friends, they were twins. And their brother was older than them, so he could drink, like, when we were in high school, but he still lived at home. And he came home one night, and he was wasted, and he thought he was in the bathroom, but he was in his mom and dad's room, and he peed, like, straight on their mom. And she was like, oh my God, Jimmy! And she, like, flipped the fuck out, dude. Oh my God.
Oh my god! I've never in my life been that drunk on any.
Some people get
inebriation.
Yeah, like some people get that drunk where they don't. Like I've never done that. Like I've never. There's like I'm like drunk and then I'm like passed out. Right. I'm not like I'm gonna go piss on somebody because I think this is the bathroom. Like that's crazy.
I've never peed anywhere that wasn't where I thought I was peeing.
Exactly.
That's how you could tell whether you're too drunk or not.
Yeah, I peed behind a Wawa once and pretended I was on the phone while there was just pee coming out of my two dicks.
Blasting
piss.
When I was a kid, I pissed like everywhere. Like I would just walk over into the woods and pee, and like I would pee behind a building.
Yeah, we peed.
Dumpster.
We peed off of roofs. We would climb on the shed and pee off the shed.
Wherever was nearby where I could pee was where I peed when I was younger.
Let your pee free, man. That's what I say.
Pee freely.
Pee freely.
So, Geordi and Data use their magic space tricorders and figure out that the Click-Clacks, who are apparently salinogen-based life forms.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what that is, but
it's like a not organic.
Space carbon-based life forms.
Yeah,
and they had created a pocket of normal universe in their universe so that we could be experimented on there.
Sure, like putting a fish in a bucket. That's what Riker says.
Putting a fish in a bucket. He's real pissed when he says it.
Stupid fish. I hate fish.
Fucking buckets.
Click.
We outlawed buckets for a reason. And the aliens had apparently tried to modify the atmosphere in the Enterprise so that they could be there. They were going to come and have all the people to experiment on they could ever want.
Right.
And Data's like being Data and seeing it completely like without any emotional ties at all or any idea of the emotions that anyone's having, says they're probably explorers just like us.
Right.
Which is a wild thing to say.
Right, with like Data, context clues.
And Riker's like, look, we escaped alive, but Hagler's fucking dead. And they experimented on crew members, so they had more than curiosity going for them.
Yeah, they're buttholes, dude. They're assholes.
Dude, speaking of X-Files, there's this fucking great episode where this like crazy dude has been abducted twice by aliens before. And he's like in his bed, and they like do the whole thing where he's like locked in place, and the room flashes all white like it always does, and there's like a million aliens walking around him.
Yeah.
And he goes, not again! It made me laugh so much.
I love it.
And then, like, later in the episode, he's like, do you think the government doesn't know about this? The government's in on it! And it shows the scene from before, but the camera pans over, and there are two government, like, Men in Black agents peering around the corner.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Is that a... William Chung or whatever, is it that one?
No, it's not
that one's the craziest fucking one, man.
The craziest one so far is that there was a space ghost that fucking took over this guy and made his face into the Mars face. That was the most ridiculous one so far.
I always forget about season 1 and 2. Oh man,
it's probably for a reason.
They're not. Some of them are really not good.
I looked up a top 10 list of like the worst episodes of X-Files, and like almost all the episodes I've already watched are on it.
Yeah. Once you get to like 4 or 5, the show gets like super good.
When does the T-1000 replace Mulder?
Like 8, season 8.
Yeah.
And then 9, and then I think he comes back for 10. That's the dumb one that they did.
David Duchovny was like, I'm going to go be in Californication.
I have a sex problem. I'll be back.
It's weird to me watching this show because it's fairly obvious that the writers of this show were like, look, we're working with 2 sex symbols here.
Yeah.
We got 2 of the sexiest people alive. And it's David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson is very pretty, but like... Yeah. And David Duchovny is the weirdest looking dude.
He's 90s hot, though. He's like Ross hot.
Oh, man. That's mean to David Duchovny, I think.
But it's the same kind of body. Like the same body type.
It's true that like there's a scene where David Duchovny gets out of the pool like Mulder does, and he's wearing a Speedo, and I was like,
I remember that. Yeah,
there were some stay-at-home moms that were like, "Ooh,
they were
Mulder."
They were Gyllen hard that night. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Mulder.
Dude, it's a Buckwheat Groats lyric. There's a lot of great actors in the world today. Vince Vaughn comes to mind. David Duchovny. It's like people are like, David Duchovny's a big star.
Dude, I fucking love that song.
I know, me too. I have a friend who tried to sleep with David Duchovny.
But jump Tom. Hey, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't think she would care if I told her name, but
Don't tell her name.
I won't.
Anyway.
I won't. But she lived in New York City for a while, and David Duchovny lived, I guess, on her block, and he would smoke outside every day, and she would walk her dog, and she was like, "Yeah, I tried really hard to get him to notice me," and I was like, I don't know, David Duchovny was like a sex addict, and he didn't want to sleep with you. I was like, what were you doing?
He's too busy being a fucking world-class actor right here with Vince Vaughn.
Oh man, buckwheat.
Buckwheat. Buckwheat. Buckwheat. Fucking do yourself a favor. Go look up Buckwheat Groats Tom Hanks. It is fucking tour de force video.
You'll never stop listening to it. Like we haven't. I think he showed it, or Conan or something. They showed it to him, and he was like, "This is great."
Tom Hanks has a great sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, he does. He's like, yeah. My mom loves Tom Hanks. Like my mom would like sleep with Tom Hanks. Like my mom loves him.
Well, Tom Hanks is a good fucker, I hear.
You think?
He'd be an attentive lover. I fucking watched the David S. Pumpkins thing the other day, and I'm like, why is this funny? Why do I enjoy this so much?
It's funny because it's like, it's made funnier, I think, to me, because I think SNL's so shitty now.
Yeah.
That like whenever they stumble upon something funny, you're like, wow, this is really funny. But there was a time when like David S. Pumpkins was like how funny SNL was all the time. You know what I mean?
It's true. The reason David S. Pumpkins is so funny to me is how committed to the bit Tom Hanks is.
Yeah, he's in it. He's acting the shit out of it.
And there's also that one little... We're just fucking dissecting comedy now, but there's that one little nugget when they're complaining about David S. Pumpkins, and like Keenan is the guy who's operating the elevator for the ride, and he's like taking up for him a bunch, and then he finally goes, "There's 100 floors of terror. Not all of them are going to be winners."
Yeah.
It's that little nugget of realism.
Yeah, he just concedes that like this is just a bit, right?
I love that. It's what Keenan was always best at with Kel, is that he was the grounding force that made like, Kel's ridiculous not seem too outlandish.
He's been around so long, man, and he's always funny. He's so good.
He still does the same impressions that he did.
I know, but it's so even funny. It's even funnier now, I think, because it's like he can do like no impressions.
No, he doesn't. He plays people, but he doesn't change the way he acts.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's kind of like Norm Macdonald. Like Norm Macdonald would be like just Norm Macdonald, right, doing an impression.
That was my favorite though. Norm Macdonald just playing himself, playing somebody else.
Yeah, it's like hilarious. Or like Tracy Morgan just being insane.
Dude, Tracy Morgan played a ton of different people, but he also didn't change anything about his mannerisms because he's already so fucking funny.
Yeah, man, making stuff for him and like writing with him had to like. How could you not love that? Like every day, you're
gonna have like a fucking home run with him no matter what you do.
Yeah, because that dude is like he doesn't care. Like he would just go out there and be like whatever.
Like. He's the reason why I started watching 30 Rock.
Yeah.
And he's still my favorite character on that show by far.
Himself. Tracy Morgan.
He plays Tracy Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
I love his two sidekicks, Grizz and .com.
Yeah, .com.
Who are like super eloquent, high-class gentlemen.
.com. Oh, boy.
Anyway, this episode of Star Trek was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the holy hell out of it. Like this is the perfect
really
spooky
good.
Halloween episode.
Yeah, we're gonna have to think of more. for next time, but this one's super spooky.
Yeah, we'll have to do another one for our 4th year.
Oh my god.
Can you believe it? Next September will be 4 years.
Nope. I'm not making it till then.
Josh, you better fucking make it.
I won't not make it. The universe won't see fit to release me from this hell.
Jesus Christ. If any ship's counselors are listening out there.
That wasn't a cry for help. It was just a normal, everyday depression talking.
It's just a normal, everyday thing that normal people say.
Yeah.
Please help me.
Please help me, God. Help me. Go to Patreon. Help me, God. Help me.
A little bit of a fun fact for today.
Oh.
It's not a John Larroquette fun fact, but I talked about this to Josh earlier, but the director, Brandon Braga, and Michael Piller all hated the aliens in this episode, and they decided not to bring them back, even though the episode had an open ending that demanded it.
It's cool that they don't, though, because, like, I mean, who cares about them, right? Like, they're not, like, not everything has to be the Borg, you know what I mean? Like, they can just be weird aliens.
It's one of those concepts that doesn't stand a second episode, like the fucking... No. Speaking of X-Files again, there's the episode with the guy who fucking, like, he eats livers to live forever and he can stretch himself, and they brought him back later?
Yeah, they kind of, and it's like, the guy who plays that guy, is that the serial killer guy? Is he a serial killer?
He's a serial killer, yeah.
Yeah, and he like lives forever or something, right?
Yeah, he eats livers and then hibernates to live forever, and they brought him back.
If it's the same guy, the actor who plays him is like he's super creepy. I think he's the guy from
very creepy.
Yeah, what is he from? He's from something. He's from a bunch of shit. I don't know his name though. But yeah, he's a really creepy actor.
It must be weird to be, like, cast for that. Like, you go to Hollywood, like, I'm going to be a big star.
Yeah, you get to be a serial killer.
I'm going to be a leading man. And they're like, your agent's like, all right, I got 7 roles for you. And you're like, wow, 7?
Yeah. Well,
what are they? Oh, they're all serial killers.
The guy who plays Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs is also in, speaking of Tom Hanks, in the From the Earth to the Moon miniseries on HBO that came out in the 90s. And he plays, Alan Shepard, like the first American in
Really?
space. Yeah, and I'm like, that's fucking Buffalo Bill, guys. Like, that guy is a fucking serial killer. You shot a serial killer in space.
He's gonna kill aliens up there, dude.
Would you fuck me, Moon? I'd fuck me, Moon.
Well, it's like the dude that plays Lon Suter in Voyager.
Yeah.
He's literally never not played a serial killer.
A creepy weirdo, yeah.
To the point where he stopped acting. He was like, I don't feel like it anymore. I don't want to play a serial killer.
You get tired of it. You just get sick of it.
He's like, I'll be a stage actor. You can do different roles in that.
It would be different if he was like on a show for 10 seasons, right, playing that character. But
yeah, but he's just plays the same character in everything.
Everything,
and it's all different shows,
right?
It's gotta suck. Like your agent's like, I got you this new great big role. Oh, what is it? It's the same one you just did, but on a different show.
Yeah, you're a nutcase again. You're a murderer.
You're a psychopath. Good. We got this new role for you. You're a Nazi.
Cool.
Oh, well, I was a Nazi in the last movie. Oh, you're going to be a Nazi in the next one after this, too.
What are you saying?
Yeah, what are you getting at here? I was reading the fucking write-up, the Wikipedia article for Cloud Atlas, because I was just curious. I'd never seen it.
What?
And,
all right, there's a lot to unpack.
Unpack that for me.
Yeah.
I was reading the Cloud Atlas, I think because I saw a still of that one movie where Channing Tatum's an elf that the Wachowskis also made.
Yeah, not Cloud Atlas, but it's Jupiter Ascending. Yeah.
The main character in that movie is named Jupiter Jones.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
But, like, I looked up Cloud Atlas after I read about that one, and...
Tom Hanks is in that.
Tom Hanks is in there, yeah. Also, Hugo Weaving is in it. He plays, like, a ton of roles.
Yeah.
And he also just plays a Nazi in it.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't have to do that, Hugo Weaving. You're, like, a big name. You don't have to play a Nazi and
He plays a Nazi in Marvel, too. He's the Red Skull.
He's the Red Skull. Maybe there's something we don't know about old Hugo Weaving.
He's also Elrond, the Naziest of all elves.
I love Elrond. Elrond is like, I didn't do anything wrong.
We are out of here. That's what he said.
Elrond's like, yeah. So the guy didn't throw the ring into the fire, and they're like, Elrond, why didn't you make him? Anyway, my people are leaving the world now.
Gotta go. Why didn't you make him? Yeah, right.
It would have been rude, so I
Didn't want to impose.
I love Elrond. He's in the new Star Trek Picard series, you know.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's young Elrond. The Adventures of Young Elrond is
In
the name.
space.
Yeah,
He's a
Space.
Romulan, I hear, actually.
Yeah, you can tell because he's got long hair. They have long hair.
Yeah, they definitely always did.
Yeah.
They didn't
they're
just
like
have Vulcan hair or
space
anything.
homeless now, so they get to have long hair.
That's fun.
If they do the STO route, which I'm assuming they're gonna steal a bunch of shit from it, you just have that feeling. That's fine, which is like better probably for the show.
Oh yeah.
To steal the fucking ideas that good writers wrote. Then there's gonna be like two Romuluses. Like old Imperial Romulus is Romulans are gonna be trying to be the old Empire ways, and then there's gonna be like the new Romulans who are like freedom and doing stuff cool. That's gonna be how
Good
it goes.
Romulans and bad Romulans.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna be.
We forgot to take a break.
Whatever.
At any point, so I guess we're not gonna
Yeah, fuck it. We can do whatever we want.
do whatever the fuck we want. I am curious about what Picard is gonna do with that character. Like, he is a space elf. Like, I love elves and stuff. I think
Yeah.
they're cool, and I love the idea of space elves. Like we talked about on emails once. I'm really interested in the idea of the Eldar from Warhammer, but I don't want to
Yeah.
pay any money, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't get into it.
Right.
But this is literally just a Tolkien elf in space.
He looks like he doesn't fit in.
No, he doesn't.
Not just because of the way he looks, which is like kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but like the actor just looks like he can't act next to these titans, you know, like
He looks
fucking,
a little baby faced. It's
yeah,
true.
like
But who
Jean-Luc
knows?
Picard, like Patrick Stewart is like incredible, right? Like, and even like 7 and 9, I would say is like a way better actor. Like Jerry Ryan's a way better actor than like this guy who's just like, I'm in Star Trek. Like that's how it feels.
Well,
to
I
me.
thought he was a Vulcan because, like, in the few scenes we've seen of him, he has like no emotions.
Right, they don't really show him.
But he does have a sword.
Yeah, well, they're swords. They have swords.
That's really
They're stealing
leaning
from-
the weight over a little for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
he's got a sword.
They know. They know. I'm telling you, they're it's STO. They're just gonna do that. They're gonna just do that. That's because they got swords and shit. I bet you it's
think-
like the sword of Romulus or something. You know, like it's like I have this ancient sword. It's like samurai-esque, right? That's what it's gonna
Yeah. Which I'd be fine with that. I think
be. Yeah, that'd be fine.
because I really, really fucking love swords.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I mean, I would fuck a sword if it didn't cut my wieners off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could lose one.
Could I though?
How am I gonna make them sword fight each other?
Paching, paching. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack.
The Click Clacks, glad they didn't come back.
Yeah, that's good. Good call. They didn't need to come back.
It was a very good call. Like, this one-off scary alien is much. I kind of wish they hadn't have left it on a cliffhanger. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna bring these guys back.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that they do that and they don't do it though, because like not everything has to end like all like we did it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of good sometimes to be like, well, that was fucked up.
It's true. I wonder why Rich Masters didn't do these guys in his season 8.
Did he know about the Click Clacks? Did he know how cool?
I'm
they
sure
were?
he knew about the Click Clacks.
But I mean, maybe they're just too complex to write about.
It's true. Too nuanced of characters.
Yeah, too
Hey,
good of a villain.
Why didn't they do dry ice like at the bottom of like below the tables? That so
They
it
couldn't
would
see the
look
feet?
scarier.
Maybe they thought it was lame.
Dry ice is never lame. It's always cool.
I tend to agree. I don't think, or like, I don't think it's lame, or like fog up the room a bit. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not
They
everything
should
has to
have
be
done
clear.
something. The room is a little too clear.
Yeah, it's-
like they're definitely using
Yeah.
a filter when they're filming in it, but it's not much of
It's
one,
almost fish-eyed at certain points. It's almost like a fish-eyed lens,
which is fitting since they're fish monks.
which would make sense. Yeah.
I wonder and I'm sure like a live viewer might be able to point this out for me. Are the Click Clacks the fish aliens from the Loxana episode? Because they look very similar.
The fish aliens have their eyes like on the sides of their head, and they're like real big. These are just like they have regular eyes. I think like forward-facing predator eyes.
See, I just thought that like that would be a super cost-saving measure.
Yeah,
just reuse those dumb suits.
They knew that people would. They knew like what they were dealing with in this show, right? Nerds would be like, in episode 5 of season 6, the Click Clacks.
That's what I just did. I mean,
yeah. I'm just doing like you now.
Just making fun of me. That's fine. That's fine. I often wonder like how much these fucking costumes cost that they used like once. Yeah, because they had to have at least had 2 of these costumes.
I mean, they got paid people like union rate, like their salary. Like, that's just Paramount's just making costumes. It's 1992, 93. Fuck it, dude.
It's
We're just rolling around in money at this point.
There's that episode of X-Files since I've been watching, and again, third reference this show. There's the episode of X-Files where there's the death fetishist.
Yeah.
And whatever the lights turned off, he's like in a full body demon costume from head to toe. Yeah. And then the lights turn on and he's not in it anymore. And you only see it twice, the whole episode.
Right. And they had to make it.
And I'm like, how much did that fucking cost?
Yeah, man, Fox was like, spare no expense.
They do bring it back. When they bring the character back later on and he wears it when the lights are off again.
I wear that when the lights are off.
But he's not a demon is the thing. Like, he's just a guy. Like
yeah, but you're supposed to be like, is he maybe a demon?
They don't really get that across very well because
the early ones are a little.
They're straight up like, yeah, he had 4 older sisters and they all treated him like shit, so he went crazy and hates women.
Yeah, I much prefer the X-Files is where they're like, oh, I'm a genie. What's your wishes? Those are my favorite.
I'm a werewolf.
I'm a vampire and I'm Luke Wilson.
I'm a vampire and I want to fuck Mulder. That's the last one I saw.
Y'all them government city folk.
Oh my god, with his fucking Billy Bob teeth. Oh, Jesus.
It's so good, dude. Fucking Rashomon as fuck. I love it.
I absolutely love Mulder's reaction when he sees him. He's taken aback.
He's like, oh,
yeah. This is a Star Trek podcast, though. I think we probably said everything there is to say about this episode. What do you think?
Yeah, no, this episode's great. It's like it's a classic. Lesser known classic, but a classic.
Let's take a minute out of this, Josh. Tell me about that time of year, like it's right before Halloween, probably a day before when this comes out. Mm-hmm. What's a great movie to watch on Halloween?
I don't like scary movies. Not that I don't like them, but like I never got into horror as a genre. What are some of my favorite Halloween movies?
Yeah.
Let's see. I like that anthology movie Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. I haven't watched it, but I hear it's fucking really good.
It's fun. It's like goofy and like ridiculous and like kind of scary, but not really. It's just super silly. I like that movie a lot. I like to watch like Stranger Things. I'll watch again on like throughout October.
Yeah. I love Stranger Things.
Sabrina I'll watch again because it's like they're witches.
Oh, it's stuff. I think it starts and ends on Halloween.
Yeah, the first season is like October 20th or whatever, and then it goes up to Halloween. I don't know. Rocky Horror is good. It's the only musical I'll ever watch because I hate musicals.
What about the Blues Brothers?
The Blues Brothers? That is a Halloween. Oh no, that doesn't count. That's the Blues. That's too funny to be a musical. Everyone's like furiously typing. What about the funny ones that the guys from South Park? They're saying that. I don't know. What are some that you like? Oh, the movie House from the 80s, not the TV show House.
Houseu?
House.
The Japanese one?
No, it's called House.
I don't know that one.
It's got Bull from Night Court in it, so you would love it.
Okay, so it sounds great right off the bat.
We should watch it at some point. Put it on the list. But I'm afraid that you're going to be like, this movie's terrible, because it is.
That's fine. We've watched one good movie and one bad movie. As a matter of fact, if you would go right now to patreon.com/mclasspodcast, you could find 2 commentary tracks by us one for the Jackie Chan classic Rumble in the Bronx,
amazing movie.
and one for the I can't remember anyone that's in the movie classic Beastmaster 2.
Mark Winger.
Oh,
Mark Singer?
Wings Hauser.
Wings Hauser
The
is
Wings
the bad guy.
Hauser classic. Beastmaster 2. Around Halloween, like, I fucking love, like, I always want to watch The Thing. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
That movie rules, yeah.
Fucking love The Thing. I just, like, Halloween before last, I'd never watched Monster Squad before.
Oh, Monster Squad's amazing.
Monster Squad is fucking amazing, and I'm just super sad I didn't see it when I was a kid.
No, Monster Squad is great. Yeah, that's a great Halloween movie.
Monster Squad is fucking great. Like, I love the Hammer horror movies with, like, Christopher Lee playing Dracula.
I have a biography about him. I have to read it.
Christopher Lee's great.
That guy was, like, an assassin in World War II. Like, he killed dudes with knives. Like, it's crazy.
And he came up behind him with that voice of his. He was like, "Time to die."
And he was like, they're like, Dracula?
Dracula's here? Yeah, he plays.
Oh my God, it's Dracula! Because
he plays Frankenstein in a movie as well, like the monster. And all of the Hammer horror movies are Christopher Lee and Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah. What's that guy's name? Fuck.
Shit. I can't
Peter
remember.
Cushing.
Yeah, Peter Cushing. He plays the coolest version of Van Helsing ever.
That's cool.
He's so great. Like, he goes to Dracula's castle with, like, a stake and a gun and, like, this fucking pimp jacket with this big fur collar.
Oh, yeah, man. If you were a Van Helsing, you needed a pimp jacket.
It's true. And he, like, fist fights Dracula. It's fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, definitely, like, the like, scary horror movies is, like, a lot of them are very thin on plot.
Yeah,
which is,
they're
like,
not great.
kind of boring.
Yeah, I think that horror movies are kind of boring. To be honest. Like, I don't like them because they're just like, okay, whatever.
I like them when they're either really bad or really fun. That's my favorite.
If they're fun, they're really kind of like, that's what I like too. If they're fun,
Evil Dead 2, it's like always a classic. I go
fucking
back
like
to
Army of Darkness, where it's just
Army
at this
of
point they're
Darkness.
just like, what the fuck is going on? Ash vs. Evil Dead's another good show that's like really fun.
Oh yeah, I love Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's a great
good
show. Fucking plug in your Sega Genesis and put in Splatterhouse. That's a classic.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Toe Jam and Earl. It's a good one.
Red Panic on Funkatron. That's my jam.
Fuck yeah, I love that game. But yeah, like I definitely recommend the Hammer horror movies though. They're really also don't watch the Wolfman, the like Universal one. God damn, that movie's boring. Like
what's that?
Like the Universal Pictures original, like The Wolfman.
Yeah.
That was like
from the 40s or whatever.
Yeah, like the 50s one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because we watched a bunch of Universal movies one year, and like Dracula still holds up and is fun. Frankenstein still holds up and is fun. The Mummy is even fun.
Yeah.
The Wolfman was like the most painful hour and a half of my life. It was so
they didn't
fucking
give him a
boring.
good plot.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Have you ever seen the original The Thing?
Yeah, The Thing from Outer Space.
Where it's like a spaceman?
Yeah.
We used to watch the shit out of that when we were kids.
That's a fun movie.
It's like really dumb.
Yeah, it is.
It's great.
If you want like a really stupid horror movie that you're gonna enjoy, go watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dude, oh my god, that movie. Oh,
that movie is ungodly terrible, but it's so fun.
That song, man, whoever does that song. I had like an MP3 of it for a long time. It would come up and I'd be like, no more Killer Clowns theme. What about the Garbage Pail Kids movie? Is that a Halloween movie?
It's terrifying looking, yeah.
Yeah, they sing a song about like helping each other.
I'm having trouble thinking of like the Halloween movies I like, and I asked the question.
It's tough because like I go through like moods. Like it's got to be the right mood.
Oh yeah.
I find that the fun ones are more like my speed. Like the kind of goofy, like doesn't take themselves too seriously. Like we all have seen like Freddy and fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, and
That
all
doesn't
that
take
shit.
itself too seriously at a certain point.
At a certain point, but like early on, you're like, yeah. Jason,
You know what-
Freddy.
You know what's a great movie to watch that like I haven't seen in a long time and I really would like to see again? I loved it when I was a kid. It's Casper.
Oh, I was just talking about Casper the other day
95 Casper. I loved it as a kid. Like
with
I
Christina
liked it.
Ricci.
Yeah, I liked it, but like Christina Ricci was like one of my first crushes, and
think
like I
everybody
still
loved
think she's
Christina.
gorgeous. So,
No, me too. I love Christina Ricci.
Like we grew up together.
She looks like crazy enough for me to be like, yeah.
You should pick up Twitches. I think that's a classic. Twitches.
Twitches.
The T and Tamara Mowry movie. Twitches.
Tia Tamara.
Does Young Frankenstein count as a horror?
Yeah, Young Frankenstein counts because it counts.
Ernest Scared Stupid. Classic. Classic. Really, I would love to be able to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark again.
Zane has the DVDs of them.
Oh man, lucky. Like
We used to go over there on Halloween and watch them and just hang out and get drunk and watch them.
like some of those legit scared me as a kid. Like I was never afraid of Goosebumps as a kid.
No, Goosebumps, no.
But like Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, some of them like legit scared me.
I hear the new one's good. I haven't seen it.
I didn't know they started that.
They remade it. I saw it, I think. Somebody was
Damn.
tweeting about it.
You should check out Spooky Buddies, the Airbud sequel. With the buddies in it. That's pretty scary.
Are the buddies his puppies?
Yeah, that's a pretty scary one. Spooky Buddies.
Yeah. Whenever there's puppies, I'm definitely afraid.
Curious George, A Halloween Adventure. That's a pretty scary one. Like a lot of horror movies are kind of garbage. Is the problem?
Yeah, that's the thing. They're lame. Like I think horror is lame in the sense that it's such a it's so difficult to make an interesting horror movie, and most people don't ever do that. Like they never get close to it. They're just dumb.
Like I like horror as a genre more than Josh for sure. And I mean like I haven't seen Get Out, but I've heard nothing good about it. I'd love to see that one.
What about the Vavitch?
Although the Vavitch is fucking amazing. I would
haven't seen
definitely
the
say check out the
Vavitch.
Vavitch.
I almost passed out during The Exorcist when she was getting needles in her.
Oh, you got a needle problem?
Oh, I can't do needles, dude. Are you crazy?
The needle problems. You should
I
check
can't.
out Casper Meets Wendy with Hilary Duff. That's pretty scary.
I've seen a lot of these. I'm looking at a list now. Silence of the
too,
Lambs is on
actually.
here. That's a good one. Silence of the Lambs. We talked about that earlier.
Goosebumps. Is Clue a Halloween movie? Because if so, fucking watch that.
Yeah, Clue
fucking
rules. Let's just say it is. It is. It's
Sure.
fun.
Clue is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love Clue.
The first Saw is great. The first Saw movie is
I
great.
did not like any Saw. I think they're all.
You didn't see the first one's good. You didn't see that one?
I did see that one. I did not like it.
I've seen The Ring, but I don't remember anything from it.
Little Shop of Horrors. That's a fun one.
Little Shop of Horrors.
The Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci because
More
Christina Ricci's in it.
Adam's Family 1. Adam's Family 2. Family Values.
Yeah, any Addams Family fucking pitch
Yeah.
that hard.
2 is funny. 2 is really funny.
Yeah, like I fucking love those. They had the perfect cast for that movie.
Yeah, that was good.
The Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy. That's a classic. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
E.T. Fuck off. That's not a Halloween movie. What are you doing?
No, yeah, that's bullshit.
The Craft. Check out The Craft. That's a good one.
The Craft. I haven't seen The Craft since 7th grade.
The Craft is a good one. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is sure spooky. I would say.
Is
pick
that on
one
there?
up.
That's on that list there.
It's on this Oh yeah, I forgot about Gremlins. Fuck yeah, Gremlins 2. Check that
That's
shit
more like
out.
Christmas. I always think Gremlins is Christmas movie.
It's true. It's a Christmas Ween movie.
Christmas Ween. Thanks,
Yeah.
Christmas Ween.
Ghostbusters. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
Always got a Bustin' always makes me feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good. I love those movies. I'll even go to bat for 2. But one
I will
isn't.
too.
One's amazing. One's like perfect. It's a perfect movie. It's great.
One is literally they were like, we have these 4 funny dudes. We're just gonna let them do their shit. We're just gonna let them loose.
Yep, it's great. I love there's like what they would do with those guys back in the day in the 80s. Like they would like make each other laugh in the movie, and they would leave it in the movie. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like they would break and they would laugh and they would leave it in.
That's like a legitimate moment where the audience is gonna laugh along.
It's real.
With
it's like a real moment, yeah, where you're like, oh man, that's really funny.
I think that's probably enough for recommendations for Halloween stuff.
Get spooky. Today's your last day. Get on it.
Look, if you aren't spooky today or tomorrow, you can't be spooky for fucking 365 days. So you better get spooky.
You want to wear black? Cool, but be spooky to do it.
Yeah, if you're not spooky, you're not allowed to wear black. If you're not Spooky Mulder, you can't wear black.
Man, maybe this year's the year that somebody finally gives me a human skull for Christmas.
Here's hoping.
God damn, what's going on?
You would actually want like a real human skull.
Yeah, I would.
That's icky. I'm not a big fan of that.
Bonus points if it's haunted.
Well, of course it's haunted.
Yeah, I want it to be haunted. Yeah, but maybe he let it or they sold their skull to science. Who knows? Look, if nobody gives me one, I'm just gonna have to go out and get one, and we all don't want that.
I mean, there are plenty of cemeteries around where you live, I'm sure.
There's also 7.5 billion human skulls walking around.
Not liking where this is going, so I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to us ramble about our absolute favorite things. And if you'd like to be a part of the Star Trek Circle Jerk along with us, then you can send us an email for our other program at mclassemail@gmail.com. Or follow us on Twitter at mclasspodcast. You can also become our patron at patreon.com/mclasspodcast if you'd like to support what we do. If you're a big fan, if you're a little fan and you just got a lot of money.
Or a medium fan.
Whatever size you are. Extra large?
Sure.
Small? Whatever.
Petite. Size 0.
I'd also like to give a very special thanks to Vitizen for the use of his track Outer Space Race for our theme song.
Thank you, Vitizen, sweetie.
You can find him on Twitter at _Vitizen_. Thank you so much, Vitizen.
It rules. I listen to it when I don't have to.
It's so fucking good.
It's really good. I know. It's stupidly good.
It is a banger and a half.
Yep.
Thanks everybody again for tuning in, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with more M-Class goodness. Bye.
I'm mentally ill.